ass when coming down here.
Well, probably that rain too. Alright.
We roll. Okay. All right, Barbershop Stories, episode 40 of them. We in here,
That's right, that's right.
Woodline, Alabama.
Bessemer, Alabama.
We
That's
knew we were going to get a
He
Belma
tried
out
it.
This
of.
was not a city, it's
We
a
knew we
town.
gonna get a
It's a
Bessemer
town.
out
It's
of.
a town.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Miss Dreka?
Bessemer is a city.
Bessemer is a city.
Period. Bill.
All right. Well, it should be annexed on Birmingham, but we ain't going to talk about that.
Nope, it's not going to be annexed because there are cities in between Bessemer before you even get to Birmingham.
Well, like we talked about an episode or two ago over here, that was last episode. Like Ben said, Fairfield on the way to being part of Birmingham, they ain't cap out there with that tax money.
Well, Fairfield is close, but you still got Bessemer, then you got Harrytown, then you got Pleasant Grove, then you got Midfield, then you got Fairfield. So you got all of those other in-between cities. Brighton, because before you even get to Harrytown, you got to go through Brighton.
Yeah, I would say Brighton a
Then you
city
got
too, right?
Lipscomb. Now, Lipscomb is the outskirts. So that's like, once you leave Bessemer, you hit Lipscomb, and then you hit Roosevelt. So
what you saying is?
I said what I said.
So what you saying is that Lipscomb is a suburb of Bessemer.
That's what I was you got
That's not what I said.
She said, and that's just the suburbs. So I was like, okay,
I said it's
Lipscomb.
the outskirts.
Okay, yeah, the outskirts. The outskirts.
so-
That's
I know what
what
I
she
said.
used.
So
That's
it's a
the word she
suburb.
used.
Funny.
It's the suburbs. You said Lipscomb is a suburb.
No, Lipscomb is not the suburbs. It's not what I said.
Yeah, they get away from Bessemer to live good in Brighton and Lipscomb.
No, we don't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Either way, hey, let's hop to it, man. Episode 40, man.
40 for the first time, man. It's 40
Oh.
for the first time. 40 for the first time. I'm comedian, narrator, haircut slanger, Benny Mac, or better just known as Benny.
Hey, and on no nose, man, we keep some info for you.
That's right, that's right. And this young lady here is, from what I know, she's a social media influencer. She's just Lanier graduate. She's Petty Church founder, one of the members that keep the church going. Amen. That's right. And she's covered in the blood. See, she already knew the cue. And she is Dreka with the D, the R, the E, the K, the A, the Eyelash Diiva with two eyes.
Yes, because you always miss my
With two eyes, you know, just like on the right above
Two
her
eyes
nose.
in
Two
Diiva?
eyes. Yeah, she got two eyes in
Okay.
Diiva.
All right, I got
All
you.
right. Then she said the with DA.
Okay.
So that she
Yeah.
might be all right. She might be all right. Let me see.
Touch your clippers.
You done touched that bit. Hey, I know that you had to be kind of quick.
Oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Got to
Yeah, kind of
go on
quick.
and get it right quick. It's nice, though.
Oh, man.
It's
That's
nice,
so
though.
well, man.
It's nice. Well, how you doing today, man?
I'm good.
How you doing today?
I'm
Well-
wonderful.
Well, I know there's a couple folks asked me about the fly. They was like, who is this young lady? They said she looked like she kind of tough. I said, she all right, you know. She, like she bathed, took a bath on that picture, but she looked nice, you know.
I
But
do take a bath 2 to 3 times a day.
yeah, sure. You be at the radio station 8 of them, so
Nice.
somebody laugh.
I
But
take one when I get up. I take one when I come home. And I take one when I go to bed.
take a wash up at V94.9 too.
No,
Take
I
a wash
don't.
up up
You
there.
don't you
I
listen to
know,
that
yeah,
line.
you take a
Bitch,
wash up
stop
at
lying.
V94.9. What's Petty Church?
So Petty
Like-
Church.
Is it church, like church, or is it just a name and how you move?
So Petty Church does get churchy sometimes,
Mm.
depending on who we have on there or depending on the message that we're talking about. But Petty Church is a podcast where we sit down and we talk about dialogue and conversations that are hard to cover on the regular surface. So you know when you go to church and you sit with your favorite person in church, you already know you're not paying attention. Y'all talking about what y'all did the night before, who walked in church with who, what the pastor doing, what the worship team doing. Y'all talking about everything besides church. So that's why I got the
Okay.
name Petty Church
Okay.
from. Because when you're sitting in church, you're being absolutely petty because you're not even paying attention. So that's why I did it. And then the conversation parts comes in and just sit down and talking.
So was a lot of this inspired by what you're seeing on TV or your actual church home?
So a lot of it was inspired because I've always started like petty service after work, like when I was working at the bank. And then I started saying I'm inviting members to the petty church on when I was doing like my lives or something, and something just clicked and just said, that's the name, so stick with it, because that's what people know you by. So that's what I did.
That's pretty catchy, petty church, because the first thing people gon', you know, they like petty church. It's almost like it's a catch to it because
Right.
Yeah.
they know it's something. What the
Yeah.
hell could you be talking about petty
Facts.
church? Yeah, off
Facts.
the top.
So that's why I did it. I've had somebody walk up to me and they was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get me a shirt made." I think I was at Miles Homecoming, and I had on my shirt, and she was like, "I'm gonna go get me one." I said, "No, you're not gonna go get one of these. You can purchase one."
So she would've just got one. What you would did?
And she would have had to run me my coins for that.
Do that run?
Yeah.
Sound
Yeah,
like
'cause I'm
pretty
stamped
tough,
and
though.
certified.
Sound pretty tough on her.
Yeah, because I'm an LLC, so I'm stamped and certified. So I'm not just a podcaster like you said, I'm
That
an
business.
influencer. It's
Yeah,
business.
influencer,
I
yeah.
do hostings, I do parties. So I can do a wedding for you. You see what I'm saying? So now you're not just going to be out here with my shirt on. No, it's what we're not going to do.
Yeah, but you know, now speaking of that, you know, that take me back to the bootlegging days.
Right.
Now, back in the day, a lot of people complained about bootlegging. But if you think about it, we have known some of the artists we knew without a little bootlegging in our life. Not much of it, but just a little.
We still bootleg now.
That's what I'm saying. So that's I guess my point with the petty church shirts, right? Let's just say you online, right, and you just scrolling, and you see a chick. Let's just say like this, with the mask on, with petty church conversation on her.
She
It's
gonna
all,
have to- she gonna have to run me them coins.
but she actually did. She gave you free promotion.
She did.
No,
Well,
man,
I mean, that's
it's a-
just like when we go get shirts made and we put those other people pictures or those other people's sayings on the shirt. It makes sense. Like, I'm not just going to walk up and be like, hey, give me my coins, you know. But the only way I would do that is if you got that bell on your shirt. You get what I'm saying? Or that heart, because that's my signature. Like, if whatever I write on your page, or if I don't write and I just leave that with the bell, like, you know that's me. So if I see this on your shirt, you're going to remember my coins.
So they got that on, but see, the reason why I say it's an interesting conversation, because I remember I used to say that, and then when I thought about it, I was like, damn, if somebody like my shit that much to buy the CDs, to burn it, I was like, kind of fat. Because even though you're missing money, but let's just say, what if you get booked in that area, $1,500
You know, them
travel
folks
pay?
gonna show up. Makes sense.
You know what I'm
I get
saying?
what you're
It's almost like, yeah, I hate to see you doing it, but at the same time, it's like, you like me that much to just snatch my shit?
Yeah.
I'd be kind of honored at first. I ain't gonna even lie.
You gotta look at one of the biggest stars out there right now, especially as African American. Just bought a
Gucci.
whole damn near city in Atlanta.
Gucci.
No, Tyler Perry.
Tyler,
We wouldn't know him if it wasn't for bootlegs.
them whack ass.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bootleg,
Yeah.
bam, that nigga all the way to the top. You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It's a fine, like, I think we hate to see it probably more so in our city. Because you feel like, hold on, man, I stayed up the street.
Right,
but
you could have just easily bought a shirt. But sometimes people can't. The crazy part about it is, and what I've had to learn since I've been doing this podcast and since I've been in this part of the industry, people support you from a distance and people support you behind closed doors. So just because you don't see somebody watching your live right then and there, just because you don't see somebody come in, I can guarantee you when you walk into a room, they know who you are. And they know who you are because there's no way around knowing who you are. Like, if that makes sense.
Your work out there.
Your work is out there. So if somebody bootlegs a shirt, or if somebody, you know, tries to mimic a haircut that you did, actually you take it as gratitude, because that's what it is. That means somebody is actually paying enough attention to what you are doing and think that it is on a level where they have to mimic it. So, you know, I've had people come up under me that started podcasts, and I was just like, wow, like, I've never even been on their podcast, but they've been on mine, and they've brought me into meetings, they've asked me questions, you know, or wanted to even start a podcast. And I'm not that person that gets on social media and say, you know, I started this and I da-da-da-da-da, because I wouldn't dare do that, you know?
Yep.
Because I'm sure you done showed somebody how to cut hair before, and they done went and got their own barbershop. So, you know, that's where the church part come in, I guess, because God tells us that we have to do those things. You have to share what you've learned with somebody.
Got using God now. Uh-oh. Well,
It is what it is. Hey, sir.
Hard head ass nigga break out. But see, but God
Period.
said that.
On Petty-lations 15 and 4, that is what he said.
So that was said.
Petty-lations. So open up your petty Bible, yes. Let him use you.
So who is what's the name? Amber Esmeralda. Esmeralda. Tell us about that count. I mean, I hear you talking about on the morning show on B94.9 home team. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Esmeralda on Fridays, right?
On Fridays.
Freaking Friday.
Freaking Friday.
With the pastor.
With the pastor. Because I'm going to ask the pastor the same question I asked in Freaking Friday meet at the mouth. I am going to do that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to stop. He's still human. I'm kidding about it. But Esmeralda is a name I have always used when I worked at the bank, just because I always had to deal with the Hispanic customers. Mm-hmm. And so I just took on the name Esmeralda because it's like they always send them to me anyway. My cleaning lady is Hispanic, so I just tell her, instead of trying to call me Dreka, what she kind of pronounce.
So, slow down, hold on.
Stop touching my bed. Let me put it over.
So what I'm saying is, you got a clean up lady?
I do have a clean
Did
up
you
lady.
catch that K1 Samuel?
Hey, that was she just
A
said.
clean up lady?
A fucking maid.
Niggas
out here balling,
No, I'm not jump balling.
Niggas out here
Niggas out here balling.
during the pandemic, during the
But
coronavirus.
when I do what I do and I take care of my people, like the situation that I'm in now, she takes care of me because I've taken care of her. So, you know, I just took on that name. So Esmeralda is another character like the Eyelash Diiva. Like, there's many layers to it. Like, you start at the head, you got Dreka, then you got Dreka. And you break it down, you got the Eyelash Diiva, you got Esmeralda. So you have all these different people.
That sound like nigga had be around here with check for all them shit, all them names.
No, don't. Do you check fraud with Benny Mac, the
Dreka
comedian, haircut slanger, and all of that? No.
Yes, that's why I said it, yes.
So it's a alter ego with Set Dreka and Dreka?
Mm-hmm, it is. Said Dreka is a zero understanding type person. Like, all she sees is bread. Like, she don't ask no questions. She don't care. Dreka wants to know the why behind the what. Said Dreka don't care nothing about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Said Dreka know we're going to spend these 12 hours locked up. We're going to go ahead and push them. Dreka trying to avoid us from getting to that point. But said Dreka, like, it has to be done.
So who hang around the most, Dreka or Dreka?
Which one have you met? Have I popped off on you yet?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, I know me, like, I know you see red, but you know, I goddamn turning like a drive shaft, so
Have
I ain't
I
really
popped off on you?
Well, see, and then you might have seen that I was turning like a drive shaft and just decided to keep that volume low. So I never met the aggressive one.
You probably would never meet her until she's put in a bad situation.
Yeah.
Jalen meets her more than anybody.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Nah, that's a different kind. That's
Yeah.
Mama Dreka there. So that's
Yeah.
when she
Right.
be just
Yeah.
fussing just to be fussing in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't, I don't think it's just that. I just think that you have to give yourself different personalities because you are different when you're around different people. Mm-hmm. So the way that I act around my dad, like, I'm not gonna act that way around you. Like, that's the most utmost. I don't even drink in front of my dad, and that's as far as even a glass of wine, and that's out of respect. So what I do in front of you, I'm not gonna do that in front of him. You see what I'm saying? So that's Dreka. That's all he know.
Yeah.
Now he does know the other people because he listens to me on the radio. He watches the podcast, but he doesn't have to meet those other people because that's my daddy. So he's the creator.
He already know him.
Right. He already know I'm a fool. That ain't his fault.
Well, I didn't say Buster know you smoke reefer.
Buster know.
Because he texted me one day. He said
He did not text
he
you
texted me,
that.
he asked me. He said, Bernie, you got some gas? And I was like, and I texted back said Benner. But he was like,
probably
he
called
called
him
me
Bernie.
Bernie. He asked me to have some gas.
But
and
he
I
didn't text you.
And I told him I had to have a tank. But he was like, no. And he had sent back the little chronic leaf. And I was like, oh, Buster. So yeah, I'm going to pull up on props, son. You know what I'm saying? See what something about. Yeah, man.
Yeah, don't you believe that hot guy lie?
What up, Buster? Shout out to you, Buster. I catch you Sunday morning, man, before the graduation party, all right?
Anyway, hey y'all
I
that are
might be
watching
with him,
and that
Buster.
are
Got that
listening
gas.
Oh, yeah,
and
Buster
that
got
are out
that
there.
gas.
Yes, hello.
Both got that gas. Probably got them runts
My
like
daddy
like
has-
them young fellas. Them
No,
runts.
I'm 37. I've never seen my daddy drink. I've never seen my daddy do anything. Like when I say that's Jesus' homeboy, that is Jesus' homeboy.
Now, you know Jesus drunk wine, right?
Now if he did
No,
everything,
Jesus drunk
he
wine.
did it before I was there.
You
and
ever,
could see it.
you ever seen him just break out dancing? Just out the blue?
No.
What's his favorite song?
You know his favorite
Oh,
song is
tip, tip.
everybody in the club get tipsy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
And he don't, okay, all right. I ain't got to say what
Chubb
I'm saying.
Rock. He loves stuff
Favorite
like that.
song, Tipsy. Did he indulge in some Master P?
No.
Oh, yeah. Make him say,
No.
Swamp Naked. All
No.
right. Buster.
He don't know
What it
any
is
of
right
it.
now.
Did he from
He
Belgium?
knows I know it. What's the blood?
Yeah.
That's
he-
where I get that song from.
Yeah, but he was probably talking about the blood with it, all that blood.
No.
Don't let Bust fool you
Ain't none
now.
of them in Belmont, is it?
We don't have gang members in Bessemer.
Gosh. See, now you like, cut, get that camera out of her face.
We don't have them. And yes, I love my dad with my whole heart. Then that's where you'll meet Cedrica. Yeah. I have zero understanding when it comes to him. You know, so I saw somebody comment that. But the reason I love my daddy so hard is because you have a lot of men who are not in their child's life. Like, I try to talk to my friends who are single dads and raising their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of them are raising boys, but the ones who do raise their daughters, I take my hat off to them because it was the total opposite for me. Like, my mom wasn't there. My dad was there. So when I see men stepping in and doing stuff like when you told me you was helping Benet get her shopping stuff together, that's the same thing my daddy would do. The only reason he's bedridden, so he can't physically do it, but he gonna make sure that it gets done. So yeah, I just saw the comment, so that was to him. Yeah, I do love my daddy.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'll bust your head, baby. Say something else.
you
about
bust my head. Now, I don't know. You ain't one of them folks that selective fight, dude. Be like, okay, she about 4'11". Hey, B, don't you say that, all that. Then see
No.
somebody a little big and be like, let's talk about it.
No.
Let's work this out. You
Man,
ain't one of
woman,
them.
child, trans, gay,
Pop.
les, I don't care what you are, you catch these hands.
Okay, I hear
And
you.
now they got too old to catch these hands,
That was
so
my
I just
turn.
make you tap dance to the car.
I believe Dreka catch these hands. Hello? Yes.
You that tax
I'm on the
money.
corner of 49th and 5. Choo with me.
Tax money at its best.
I'm trying to put that tax money to use.
No.
Put them authorities on you.
I learned my lesson from that. I called the police one time about a key to my apartment, and it went left. So I probably would never call the police ever again. Nah, I'm good. I don't want to, especially now in this
I've
day
been
and
saying,
age.
hey, you
I'm
better not
scared to
call
call
them.
the police.
But I was about to say that. Speaking of police, with everything going on, what's your thoughts about the coronavirus? What just happened with George Floyd? Of course, we know it's more to it. But what's your thoughts on it in this day and time, and how this 2020 been for you?
So, this 2020 for me started off really, really good. Because I started manifesting some dreams and some prayers last year. And my manifestation goes into, as far as fasting, it goes into sowing a seed, it goes into paying my tithes, it goes into praying. So I did that by manifesting myself to be a part of V94.9. And so,
Glad we came to that.
right. Then well, first let me start over. So I was working at a job where I wasn't happy. I was making good money. I had just got a raise. I'm very good at what I do. So whatever I put my mind to, I'm very good at. And I think anybody would be. But I met my best friend now. I met him. And he looked at me and said, "You got it." Because he was like, "I've been following your podcast, and I think you got it. We're gonna get you where you need to be." So he became not only just my friend, but he became my manager. Not only did he become my manager, he became somebody that took an initiative in me. So like things I used to wear, people I used to hang around, things I used to do, he was like, "No, you can't do all of that if you're trying to get to here." You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to change the way you dress. You can't do this. You can't hang out there. You can't do, And so of course I argue with him because I've never had number one, a man outside of my dad to come into my life and just, you know what I'm saying?
She didn't want a man. That's
So,
what she's saying. She
period.
didn't want a man.
So it was a part of submission, and then I'm submitting to somebody I'm not in a relationship with, if that makes sense. So now I have to trust you to know that you got my better interest. So that's how that part started. Then when I told him I wanted to be on the radio, we got there.
Eyelash, Diiva,
So yeah.
Barbershop Stories, episode 40.
So that's what it is. 2020 started off good. Unfortunately, I met Benny again.
Yeah.
I've been knowing Benny.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I've been knowing Benny for some years.
I ain't never seen her smile that much. She coming there, she can be sad walking down the sidewalk. She see my face.
Man, she met you again. How do you meet somebody? You'll know.
Like
Well, no, because
You just run back, cross them.
Because Benny
Yeah.
told me to call him, and he
Whatever
was
you
like,
wanna call.
Dreka, you should have my number. And I was like, no, I ain't got your number. So when I started dialing his number, his name popped up. And then he was like, now go to your contacts. So his name was in my phone like a million times. So that's how long I know I've been knowing him. Because that means whatever phone I done had, whatever storage I done had, it keep re-adding his number. So that's why I said we...
See, one thing about what's beautiful about this technology and these iPhonians, they will tell on you with your lying ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all good though.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But the Kavaris part of it, I felt like was a conspiracy with Trump. Trying to stay in office, trying to get back in office, and all of that other stuff. Then I felt the Kavaris was happening, but it wasn't enough. So then I felt like God shut the world down because it was just too much. It was too much chaos. It was too much going on. Nobody was listening. And it was like everybody was doing what they want to do, and they weren't doing what he said do. So God found a way to just shut the whole entire world down. Like everything stopped. And I don't think in my 37 years I've ever seen just the whole world just stop. In the process of that, right. And then in the process of that, you kill one person in Georgia. So they mad about that because that tape surfaced. See, now what you have to do is watch your surroundings. Because see, what y'all used to do sneakily and privately, you can't do that anymore. Like these people are recording you. You don't know if it's somebody in your own camp that's recording.
So
You know what I'm saying?
Everybody want them likes.
Everybody want likes. They want the comments. They want the money. Because once you go viral, that's money. Like you get a check for that. So everything has a purpose, if that makes sense. So then this happened. The George Floyd case happened. So you have to think about it. This is like what 2 to 3 weeks in a time span of each other, and then a month or two.
Well, when they actually brought it to justice.
When they brought it to justice,
with,
it was 2 3
with
weeks.
Ahmaud.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that case happened like 2 months ago. So now you got to think about it where we are now. Like we fed up as people. So I'm not against the protesting and them standing up and them saying what they're saying and doing what they're doing. I'm against them destroying stores and livelihoods where we still have to come to. You know what I'm saying? Or black people who done started something. Like when we went down to downtown Birmingham, and these people are saying they've been in this place 30 and 40 years. You get what I'm saying? And they have never witnessed that. Like 30 and 40 years, that's as long as you've been here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's majority of what I've been here. So to see that happen, the only place I saw fit that needed to be probably tore up was California Mall. I'm gonna stand up. Yeah, I just feel like it needs something. I felt like somebody that worked there did that.
Now, Dreka. Now they been selling niggas hollow ropes for years.
They been doing, and I never got me a gold train.
Big Tom, K-Swiss, Dad, Nikes and stuff for years. Suits that match from head
It was
to
time
toe
to let
for
it go.
years, man.
It was time to let it go, and I felt like the people who worked there sit there don't. I don't think them folks came from out of town. Them folks don't know nothing about no California Mall.
And before you get off that point, I understand exactly what you mean because it was several people out there speaking up for the businesses, you know, and saying that that type of thing need to stop. But it's different perspectives out there on that. But I can understand what you're saying because it's other people out there that's not getting the fingers pointed at them.
Right.
Because, I mean, even on the news clip, you see white people vandalize and stuff, and then you got conspiracy theories what they call conspiracy
Yeah,
theorists
conspiracy.
saying it too, but people kind of it's all mixed in. So
Right.
you know, but on the fingers getting pointed is pointed at the young guys, and everybody saying y'all in the city, y'all children, and we kind of arguing amongst each other rather than just saying okay, we still working toward this solution. Even though the officers got brought on charges today, and that was advanced. So you know, people
Right.
that thought you know wasn't nothing gonna happen from the rioting and the looting and the you know, it may was gonna gonna happen anyway, but it happened. You know,
happened, and
it
that's
came
what we
on.
needed.
You know, it came on around.
Because
But
I think they get years for that.
Yeah.
You're looking at 20, 25 years, 40 years.
Well, you say, yeah, it upped it for the one when they moved it from 3rd degree to 2nd degree. You know, it's 2nd degree manslaughter too.
Mhm.
So when they moved it up to the 2nd degree murder
yeah,
and just a regular manslaughter, yeah, that possibly can get them probably about 15 to 20. But
and they ought to keep pounding the table
And they oughta
until they
keep-
get the
and-
first
Till they get to
for
the first.
everybody.
I just saying, I don't think they're gonna stop. You know, because it's almost like, look, bro, we done this 152 times, and then after a couple weeks, you go right
They
back the
get
same.
on.
I think it's gonna continue because you got to remember now. We're speaking about George Floyd. We're speaking about what's his name, Aubrey.
Yeah, Ahmaud Arbery,
Ahmaud Arbery, and we're speaking about several others that we've seen.
Sandra,
Right.
Sandra Bland.
yeah.
No,
No, the one that the girl that just got the pregnant girl.
what was the young lady in Louisville with her old
In
man?
Kentucky.
Remember that they did the no knock,
Okay, yeah.
plain clothes.
I mean, just the stuff that happened over the years,
Yeah.
even before we were born.
Even
We
the-
talking about everybody.
Right. Even the
we
ones-
connecting
As a
that
whole.
history.
Even the ones we
connecting
ain't
that
seen,
history.
you know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Exactly.
see, a lot of people don't realize only certain stories make it go viral. But you got stories in these little towns that we'll never hear about. And I think that people standing up at this point because it's almost like, nah,
Exactly.
bro, no more. And I feel them.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I feel them.
We
It's
just
they
got to keep the
tired.
focus on. We got to keep the focus on the results, you know,
Yeah.
and try not to get sidetracked. And I feel for those business owners though, because I seen y'all out doing y'all job in the community, like a good urban, you know what I'm saying, the station should be doing, inform the people on
Hometown.
what's happening.
Hometown.
And I think a lot of slack got pulled off. And people might have got more decisive the next night out about certain business. You know, we
Right.
started seeing gun stores and pot. We don't know that, you know.
Right.
We also, but at same time, no one deserves to take punishment for what they did to Floyd up there. But they have to understand that it's honestly, with no disregard for Floyd, it's bigger than him right now as far as this revolt and this crisis is getting. You know what I'm saying? Those officers going down. You know what I'm saying? Really going down. You know, it's gonna set precedent
Yeah.
from here on. The Constitution ain't got to change today. We
Absolutely.
working on that.
His daughter, they put a video out of his daughter saying, "My daddy changed the world," and absolutely,
It's
he did.
real.
Well,
People paying attention that ain't never
'Cause-
paid attention.
Like in the Bible, sacrifices have to be made, and he was a sacrifice. And a lot of other
A
people
lot of
have
people don't want to
died,
hear that, but you're
but
right.
a lot of people don't want to understand it. But
That's tough.
understand it when you have to know, if you are in tune with God and you know the word of God, and here come the church part, you have to know God picks his toughest soldiers to fight his biggest battles. And he picked George because let me tell you why he did that. Let me tell you why he did
Give me
it.
some of
Everybody
that
everybody has witnessed other people like Trayvon Martin and all of them. Those are what that was leading up to it. You know what I'm saying? We are in 2020. Understand, 2020 is the biggest thing when they say 2020 vision. So take that and understand that when God is opening your eyes and your suppressed conscious to see things, he uses it through what? Your vision. He used your senses to understand what he's doing. Whether you blind, he makes you hear better. Whether you're deaf, he makes you see better. So now we are seeing, because you could be told something all day long, but unless you see it, and it was just the grace of God that girl was where she was at and filmed that entire thing. Now she has to work. Now she has to live with that because she's probably never seen anybody die in front of her. But I can guarantee you, God got her
But see,
because it was meant for that to be seen.
But see, and it's funny, like you said, one thing I learned about the universe and how God works, because you don't really understand it until you get to a certain age. Now, that's not for everybody, but typically, late 20s, 30s, you had a little experience and a little wisdom. But when you start noticing that all the shit that you do on earth is almost like somebody done already wrote it out, you kind of tend to be a little cooler.
Absolutely.
Because, like you said, what was the chance of her being that day, that time, in a position to even record?
Where she could record straight on.
But see,
straight on.
And it's so funny though, because you know, like a lot of people talk about church, but I think it's more so of a conversation than an actual action.
Right.
A lot of people don't really follow it through. But the stuff that I've been seeing, you know, like even in the Bible, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit where it say the meek shall inherit the earth. I remember me reading that young, and I was like, well, who the fuck is meek? How this shit gonna happen? Because of what was happening at the time, we couldn't see it. But you remember in life, we can't press fast forward, we can only press rewind and see what we done done, but we won't know the hell we going. But if you talking about God, the ultimate orchestrator, all that stuff got to happen in order to get the person who trying to be the suppressor, you know. So it's been interesting because I ain't expect 2020 to turn out like this.
I didn't either. I never saw it turn. We never saw Trump being actual president. Like we're mad about it, we're upset about it, but I promise you, and I can guarantee you, he there for a reason. He is there for a reason. We may not understand that reason, but understand. Look at what's happening since he has been in office.
But you know, believe it or not, and just hear me out, people. Trump actually probably the best thing that happened to this country. But let me explain though.
Bro, come on with them on that.
He cutting. He cutting up so bad that is actually making his own people say, God damn it, hold up. So even though the stuff that he's doing, the rhetoric he's talking is bad, but it's making you actually open your eyes. Sometimes it take to get the shit slapped out of you to realize that this motherfucker is an enemy. So to me, I think God allowed him to be where he is. That's why I say thank you for him. Then he dropped them stimulus and shit on me. But but for real, is the stuff he's doing is actually making you learn and research and get out and vote or get out and revolt or get out and do what's necessary take action in something because of the actions he's taking. Because if you would have kept a person in there that's mild-mannered but stabbing you right in the middle of your back and you can't even snatch that shit out, you wouldn't even know how to respond. That's what I mean by he's one of the best things happening to this country. Because see, you can get lax and motherfuckers still be trying to tell you a new asshole. But Trump, I give it to him.
He doing it right there in your face.
He doing it in your face, which is making you more vigilant to say, bro, I'm not going to stand for this. That's what I mean by it. You know what I'm saying?
He don't care nothing about it. He going to tweet you how he feel. If he don't like you, he going to come at you. One thing you have to do, I don't care how you feel about somebody or their actions, you got to respect who they are as a person. Because he is giving you who he is tenfold. He is showing you who he is. Like, he don't give a fuck who said. He don't care what office he hold. That man don't care nothing about him being the president. Guess what he care about? Donald Trump. That's it.
And that money.
And that money. And that's what he is showing y'all. So a lot of this stuff that we going through, it is shocking and it is relevant. And I feel like we need to discuss it, especially us. We need to discuss it like black people. So I put a post out early and I just asked, how are y'all doing? Like, not the bullshit y'all post on social media, but deep within, how the fuck are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? So we had a discussion this morning before we went on air, and I saw it first before I came, and then they was talking about it when I got there. Well, they were talking about the police officer that lost his life in Moody, right? The guy who got shot, killed. You know, so when I saw it, it was like 30 this morning. So I'm still half asleep. And I looked, and it was like, oh, he lost his life. He had a family. He had a wife. He's been with the police for his 23 years, yada, yada, yada. My first instinct was, oh, okay. What we talking about it for? You know what I'm saying? Then my second instinct was, like, really, why the fuck are we talking about it? Like, we trying to get white people not to be who they are. And now we sit up here saying we feel sorry because one has lost their life. Like, that's where my first mind went. You get what I'm saying? So then I had to sit back and I had to think. And I said, Dreka, well, yeah, he's still human. So we don't know the wild behind the wet. And then you tell me he had a Motel 8. Like, what was you at a Motel 8 for? Now you want me to sit back and think, what position was you in at a Motel 8 to get your whole life took? Because ain't nobody going to Motel 8s, and anybody that goes to a Motel 8 is either a geek monster or the seller, period, or a prostitute.
What is a geek monster for the crowd?
Or a trick.
I mean,
That's why I said tricking,
I've never heard
selling,
of
or
the
buying.
term.
Them
Never heard
all
of
people
the-
at Motel 8.
I've never heard of the term geek monster. Could you explain what a geek monster is?
The person who takes or partakes in certain drugs like meth, like heroin, like cocaine, stuff that is hard to come off of. Like you're an addict, but now you're an over addict because it has consumed your whole life. 'Cause you can be an addict and still function, but once you go to a whole nother level, it ain't no coming back.
Okay,
So
I'm
what
glad
it
you
is.
had the function part.
Okay, okay.
That's when I think I mean, because, you know what, people do all kinds of stuff, drink, you know, take stuff to sleep with, take stuff to stay woke, all kinds of shit.
Right.
So, you know what
And
I'm
that's
saying?
addictive, and that makes you
Exactly.
an addict.
But I think, yeah, you know, like you said,
You have to sometimes
when you
you
stop
have to
functioning,
preach it where somebody else can reach it or understand it, and I have to do that a lot.
Real
in
shit.
business. So you know, when it comes to that, I just that was my first mindset. Like I really didn't care about it, and then you know, Ben and them was like, "What?" Like him and home was looking like, damn, that was harsh. I mean,
No.
that is how you came off at me.
No, see,
I mean, sure, Dreka, if you was in another room, somebody else would have thought about it. And I'm still
Well,
sitting
yeah.
over there in my chair like,
Well,
okay.
the reason why I said that is because I always remember everything is about perspective. Like to me, it's the same way with white people do black people. If I stay in the area where I never have to experience you, all my thoughts and views come of you off TV. So that means if all I see is running shoes, selling dope, half thick beards and shit, and they look violent, 9 times out of 10 that's what you're gonna associate them with. But unfortunately, that ain't a good thing. Because, you know, and that's on both sides, you
people
know.
that can't handle their addictions,
Yeah, you know,
shit like that.
so a lot of times though, you know, the reason why I say it is because, you know, I don't really hang with a bunch of white people. Not because I wouldn't, it's because that's just not what's in my diaspora.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, my perspective from them come from experience with them and what I seen on TV. Because, you know, but I think that the average person, man, I think that's fair to feel that way, but it's unfair at the same time if it makes sense, you know, because we only go by what we see as people. You know what I'm saying? But,
Right.
And then, like I said, with all what's going on with them officers and the people and all that, it's probably 11 billion perspective on about that officer getting killed. Because you got somebody that actually know the story. Then you got some people saying he ain't did nothing. Then you got the people who love him that just gun ho for him. But you got the people who know him like, nah,
Right.
he got what he deserved. And the same way for
Yeah,
how
it
this was.
desensitizes you to it,
Yeah,
man.
it's
And
scary
like,
too.
And like we was talking about it here the other day, the conversation we had, and they was talking about how they look at us and all that. Like we said, hey, what do we judge them by?
How they did
By
that,
their peers and by their forefathers.
Right.
You feel me? Cause hey, they got one of the worst histories your ass can have now. I mean, if you want to damn start talking about what they wrote, shit, I ain't saying whether it's true or false. Cause a lot of things I learned about history, man, you have to cross-reference history 100 times over down there. As much as you run cross, that's as much as you have to run cross-reference.
And comprehend what you read.
You know what I'm saying? Because we got what they wrote, and they told us their ass was straight savage. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Imagine what was happening for real out here. Like I said, Emmett Till wasn't the only one face got put in no cotton gin. He the one we know about.
He's just the only one
Yeah.
we know
You know
about.
what I'm saying?
Like different people surface for reasons. Like that's why I keep trying to tell people it's hard to be in this time and in this world and you don't know who God is. You can do all the wrong shit that you do and you can do all the right shit you do, but you still got to come in that middle. It's like I tell my son, there's no way around him, there's no way under him, there's nowhere between him. There's nowhere you can get in life without knowing who this man is or whatever God that you feel like you believe in. You need to still believe in the Most High. That's all I care about. So my thing is, when stuff happens, I did have to take my mindset out of that perspective, and I did have to, you know, say a prayer to God for myself. Like, God, you know, just forgive me for those thoughts, but those are still my thoughts and those are my feelings. And that's my humanistic side. But as my spiritual side, I still need to be feeling sorry because that could have been my son, that could have been my husband, that could have been, so I get it and I understand it. But at the same time, with what we got going on in this world, I just felt like at that first moment of seeing that picture, I just felt numb to it. And I know, and I'm not going to apologize for feeling numb to it. Because that was at that first initial moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just did a blackout. We Black Lives Matter. And then you posting and telling me, oh, a white cop done lost his life.
Them smart alecks online, you got them.
Right. And then you telling me he in Moody? Moody. That's the most racist place we got in Birmingham. One of them. Yeah. So, that just was my first thought. But, coming out of that, I just don't want us to be, like, trapped or in a mindset where we can't think outside of the box. Like, we have to have these politically correct answers. You can't tell me how to feel about something. You can't tell me that your testimony is what it was and I'm supposed to feel the way you feel. I can't feel that way if I've never been through it. I can't understand it if I've never been through it. All I can have is compassion because you're sharing it with me. But my thoughts and my feelings are my thoughts and my feelings. So that's how they had made me feel this morning. And I started to scoop cake, both of them, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but one thing about it.
Because you're going to catch these hands.
One thing about it. I must admit.
That was kind of close.
I must admit.
God reach out sometimes.
That was about close he was to that
But
bed.
God also blessed thee too. Because see, one thing about it, CVS now sell crutches, walkers, wheelchairs, Band-Aids, Neosporin, gauze, and etc. So
I won't need any of that. You're gonna need.
You don't need them now because you kept your hands to yourself. But if I catch some hands, CVS closed at 12. That's plug to CVS. Shout out.
Look at Sammy trying to add his little ad libs in like the Migos.
Pim pim.
See, I deal with 2 million every day. This is nothing.
Well, I mean, we really ain't just
used to it.
We ain't just got on your ass now. We right.
You can get on. You can ask me whatever you want.
First of all,
Barbershop light though.
I ain't gonna get at you too bad because she got on a brand new pair of tights, and typically when they got on new tights, she can't have walking them whole because they still fitting good. But
that's one of her.
Not gonna bother.
That's one of them.
No, it's not.
Alter ego too, right? The
No.
tight thing.
Oh yeah.
I thought I heard that name before.
No, that's just what Ben called me.
See, one day Dreka wore some tights, let's just say Wednesday, but the next day she wore the same type. She just cut the legs off and made it into a short set. I said, but it was fat though. That was Dreka and Cedric.
No, it wasn't.
It was. I think it was
Shut
Dreka
up.
with them cut off tights on. It was Cedric.
Those were shorts.
It was Cedric when
Biking
she had them where
shorts.
they can cuff up under the foot, like the old tights that just make sure they don't slide down.
We had on biking shorts.
Oh.
But I'm about with you on that. On the apologetic standpoint, I ain't saying the officer don't deserve a moment of silence, whatever they give. You know what I'm saying? Or however, he deserved just as much respect as anybody else. But I don't know what they were doing over there at that hotel. That was a crazy story went on the news.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Motel
you can't help but to do it like that. Then it's a time like this. So, but much respect. But it's like this. The apologetic thing, I feel like this. I'm not saying don't be what you are. If that's the type of person you is, do it.
Right.
It's just a time and a place.
Right.
Because right now, it almost seems like you more concerned about clothes and shoes than you are about a person that just got strangled out in the street.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are being apologetic about it, and these people removed a damn piece of rock down here out of damn what's the park? Lynn Park.
Mm-hmm.
They moved a fucking piece of rock out here,
They cut up.
and these people cutting up. KKK down here and everything today, having a rally. So, I mean,
that was another
like
reason why we couldn't do the podcast at the park.
Right.
They had it. First it was rain. See, that's why I felt like God was blocking. It was so much going on this week.
What?
And God was just putting up them little red flags. He was just like, nope, you dead. You ain't going. Nope, sit your butt down. Nope, look at the curfew. Because every time we was trying to do the show and we wanted to do the show, like, outside. Because that's never has been done. So if y'all do it, I know you got the idea from them coming for your man, period. Now, So when we got ready to do it, like the clouds got dark, and I was like, man, I didn't even know it was supposed to rain today, because it'll say it's gonna rain in Birmingham, and it don't. Then everybody kept talking about how hot it was today. Everybody I talked to was at work, how hot it was. If they was outside, how hot it was. And I was like, okay, God, what you doing? Like, what you got going on? And then when I got here, he was telling me the police was down there. And I kept hearing police sirens by the house. But I was like, I stay downtown, I'm in the middle of the city, so I'm sure it's just natural. But I didn't know that they were rallying up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really watch the news because I just feel like
I don't know what
I see it on social media, right? So it's just crazy. But you can't, honestly and truthfully, and it's just being realistic. You cannot get mad if they rally up and they come down there and stand up for what they believe, because we are doing the same exact thing. Whether they wrong and whether they ain't shit, it's just they still have their belief in what they believe in, just like we do. We just hope we don't cross them paths in the middle and then some other stuff escalate.
Only thing I feel about that. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Only thing I feel about that now, cause we gonna go there. This barbershop stores, and hey, we'll be awful small. We sit here and don't talk about something we talk about in the barbershop on the regular.
They gonna cut up now.
I look at it like this. We always say in the shop, all right, if a group of black men, any black men, we'll take the Panthers, anybody you want to name, any group you want to name, except probably Rainbow Coalition, shit like that. But you take any group of black men, but you take any group of black men, man, and put them together and do anything that the Ku Klux Klan have been known for, doing.
It's automatic.
Record of them doing.
Would have been a hate group.
Yeah.
Tell me, give me your outlook on that.
We would. Well, the only people, like you said, probably wouldn't get labeled first are the LGBTQ community. They probably would, because they get hated the most. Yeah. But if we go out there,
I don't know about haters. They might be the second haters. Black folk probably the first.
Yeah. Then they say
guaranteed.
But yeah, they wouldn't.
Well, no, I'm saying it's real niggas too. Then they third.
Black reputation for killer, murderer.
We did.
Arsonist.
We did. Ain't no question asked. We did, and we ain't
doing
that.
Are we gonna be able to put hoods on and come to Lynn Park and have a rally, and they know it was this particular organization that was responsible?
They had so many police and state troopers and everything down there.
But you know why though? Because they were their constituents. You got to remember, why would a person hood themselves?
They're amongst us.
Because they're amongst us, whether they are store clerks, whether they are lawyers or doctors or pediatricians or people who we look at and admire on the morning news and evening news.
That's what they call.
You got to think about it. That's why they cover themselves, because they still want to be able to live that alter ego life. I'm going to kill them by night, but what the hell happened by day? And unfortunately, whether nobody see that or not, but come on, how did that shit exist? Like you said, how do you be known? If K1 was around here killing folks in all red with a red bandana, show up somewhere with a red bandana, watch what happens. They'll apply something called the RICO law. They'll apply shit to say, you affiliated with it, you in a known gang area, man, you'll get slaughtered. Yeah. So in order for them to exist, somebody had to allow them.
Yeah.
And I think somebody
they gotta be allowed.
They in high places. That's why they are able to be allowed.
They be out there. Yeah. The hood is on.
And then you know we can't get mad about it because we stay in an actual racist state. Alabama is
racist
one
country.
The country too, but we are one of the most southern. Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi. Like those are your top states that's in your history book.
But look where they bugging at though. They bugging in New York, Oakland.
They bugging, yeah, but I'm saying we have
Virginia.
We have this civil rights thing here. So the white folks, the white folks that's been here, these folks been here.
Yeah,
and now they reproducing other folks that's been here, and then them folks reproducing. And guess what they keep reproducing? Assholes, Ku Klux Klans, killers, sheriffs. You get what I'm saying? Like these folks are inheriting these jobs. We have to go out here and grind for what we get. Them folks get it on a silver platter. Yeah. They get they want to have a session where they hang what the man in Sylacauga said. If you're a drug dealer, he want to hang you. He was raised like that. His mind, if he was normal, his mind would not think about hanging nothing.
But you remember
but
though,
your jacket.
But you remember too though, Dreka, when I said Trump one of the best things that happened to this country, because now they always say God used the word like in the Bible, reveal. If you really look at it, you see all the shit you need to see to say, you know what, I don't fool with you. If that was me that killed, pillaged, raped, harm, cut children out of stomach, cut dicks off, all that.
Still exists, still got a known leader.
If that was us,
a known leader.
everybody who looked like you would be accused of the same crime. So I think is it like right now, you know, if people know what I'm talking about, what they say, the woke people, the age of Aquarius. Basically mean it's not the age of thinking anymore, it's the age of knowing what the fuck going on. Because you gotta be able to see, and I think certain stuff get revealed for a certain reason. Either we ain't been paying attention, or some of us just couldn't see it.
Or pushing it under the rug, and now
it's
more than us now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
our kids, they have zero understanding.
Man,
they don't care
right.
nothing about going to jail. They don't care nothing about dying. They don't care nothing about getting on social media,
Yeah,
acting
all that
on whole
humble
ass.
shit.
They don't care nothing about it. And they have came from good upbringings. Some of them still have good grandparents. Some of them have good mothers and fathers. But they are just in a generation and an age where they don't care. And guess what? That's what we need right now. Those are the upfront people we need, because the other people suppress it. The other people push it under the rug. And then, like when we was on the show the other morning, and I just kept hearing her say, you know, we got to get the young people. They just out here, the young people. And no, we're not going to. That's what we're not going to do. Because the older people been sitting here and ain't did nothing. But sitting in their chairs, waiting on somebody else to fight their battles. And now you got the younger people like us or our children out here who ready for war.
Or they did it young and they time let them pass.
Yeah.
They understand it from a different way.
Yeah.
You know,
but see, it's a different age time now. These folks ready for war.
Yeah, but
when that
see,
coronavirus hit, they weren't going out there just buying tissue. They were buying ammo.
Yeah.
They were loading up because they felt like it was finna come for war.
But see, that's the thing though. You know, they say they wiser but weaker. But you got to put that in perspective and what that means. Wiser meaning that they got way more access to information than we ever had. You know, so, and it's right at the fingertip. Right. Now, only thing I disagree with is just that the earnestness just need to be guided. But other than that, you got to listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you think about even with the military, they pick you up at 18 because they know that's when your most testosterone running through your system. And we should do the same. You got to be able to provide some and offer them something and say, well, bro, look, I heard you out. What you did, it was fine. But you ever thought about doing it this way? All they need is a little guidance.
A little bit of guidance.
Just a little bit, but people scared to talk to them because of the narrative of what we see. And that ain't really fair. You know what I'm saying? I ain't number 40 for the first time. And the 40th episode of Barbershop Stories podcast with Dreka, the Eyelash, Diiva, and some of the others. But it's some real though, you know.
Do what I deal with.
Yeah, I mean, but it's some real shit though. Now, I guess speaking on some other real shit, we all from Birmingham, Baltimore, and the surrounding areas. A lot of them have adopted the curfew in the city of Birmingham. What are your thoughts? And how tough do you think that is for Rhonda Wolfen in a city that's 74% black by putting a curfew on?
When he put that curfew on, he did not realize what the effect was going to be. Walmarts are closing at 5 o'clock.
You don't think he knew?
Well, he was looking at it from...
Because all that had to be a coordinated effort for us to say, curfew at this time, so I need all the businesses to follow along with my...
Yeah, I'm sure he did, but I'm sure he didn't realize the outcome of it. Like, I'm saying this because I want to protect my people. I don't want anybody to get hurt. But then I'm not thinking about the aftermath of it. You know what I'm thinking about the here and right now. Like, when we do stuff for the right now, but we don't think about the consequences after we do it. You know, like, I'm going to go ahead and light this stove, and then I'm going to walk away, but I'm going to leave this towel there. Like, we're not thinking that when I come back, this whole damn house then go, you know what I'm saying? We're just thinking about, I'm finna just go run right quick and do this, and then put a Band-Aid on it and come back. So, I feel like a lot of things that they coming at him about on social media, he is a black man. Yes, he is. We can't take that away from him. He is a black man. I don't care if he's straight, gay, bi, trans. I don't care what that man is. He's still a black man. And guess what else he is? He's the mayor. He still has a job he has to do. If he took on everybody's opinions and their thoughts and their concerns, this city would probably be upside down. Because everybody has opinions and everybody has assholes. That don't mean we all shit the same. That don't mean we all think the same. So my thing is, you cannot tell this man how to run a city that God put him in position to do. If he say sit your ass down, sit your ass down. And that's what he mean. Have you heard anything about, I came over here, it was quiet as a church mouse. I ain't lying. I ain't see but 3 calls since I've been
Well,
here.
I mean, because we do know how to act over here in the Woodlawn area, but you know.
Downtown either.
Well,
Period. And that ain't the
well, I
Woodlawn
mean,
area.
that's the
It gets on my nerves.
that's the suburbs of Woodlawn. That's why they be mining.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. But I'm just, you got to put structure in order. You got to do things with decency. So he has to do what he has to do, and he has to do what he felt was right. If he didn't put that curfew out there, and y'all got out here and did whatever y'all wanted to do, it would be total chaos and mayhem.
So you think it's fair for a city like the inner city of Birmingham is 212,000? You think it's fair for, let's just say, 500 people, and I'm really probably overestimating, 500 people to cut up and put 212,000 in the house like they left? I know people say one bad apple spoiled a whole bunch, but shit, that don't even sound like a bad apple. That sound like you need to direct the attention at them. And the reason why I'm saying that, just a perspective.
He can't do that if you don't know who all was out there.
But think about it.
I'm out here like them white folks on 280 there. I'm out here.
It's a precinct downtown Birmingham, 17th Street, 1st Avenue North. Where a lot of the stuff happened was right in the vicinity of downtown. Now, what I saw, now that one in front of the barbershop, you can throw a pepper rock and that bitch might shout. But a lot of those businesses like the Harbor Center and all that, those ones took effort to bust out. So you mean to tell me, clean for 2-3 straight blocks and then nobody get caught? That's just me. That's just a thought. You got to think. Now, these double pane, you remember when we went by the Barron Stadium? The window was bust on one end, but it was a whole nother window behind it. And if they bust the whole windows and doors out, you mean to tell me that nobody see it?
You're going to cut your back out before I get in there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and I'm not, and much respect for Birmingham police officers. I'm just saying what other people could be thinking as well. All these want to bust it out in a row. Chick-fil-A, Regions, all this on the same road, and come on, he ain't even 3 blocks away.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just a thought. You know what I'm saying? I think
Stage don't sound all that, yeah,
I just feel like he had to do
in
what
some
he
areas.
had to do. I'm not gonna argue against it. I sit down anyway. I'm in the house at 7:00 anyway, so it don't matter. I don't be out.
I usually
I was
working.
I was cautious coming here.
I mean, you got to pass. You know what I'm saying? We approved it, so don't worry about it, fellas. But I mean, but it, you know, I like I said, I try to respect, you know, leadership and some authority, you know.
Some.
I mean, I ain't lying.
You hard-headed.
Fine. That's fine. But
They call it grown.
yeah, I mean,
like grown.
and then because you kind of know better. You know when shit ain't right too. Because you gotta think about it. Remember, slavery was law at one point, but it didn't make it right. Because now I think we give black folks a little bit more leniency than we'll do some other folks. Yeah. And that come from mayor to sheriffs to police to even down to regular old business owners. And that's cool if that's what they choose to do, but I think actually we should probably hold ourselves to a higher standard because our penalty is worse. Because let's just say if everything he did right and it turned out good, he good. If it turned out that there was some overreach, he's going to get penalized worse than our other counterparts, and we know that. Because like with Trump, that dude, they'll say some shit, and I ain't going to lie, it'd be hilarious. I'm entertained by the shit he say, but that shit is irresponsible because the position that he's in. But imagine if that was Barack. Say, man, them folks over there, them old shithole countries. Man,
That's
you would have never heard
different
it.
because they hold them to a different standard.
And I think we should too, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't mean like critique them on every little fine detail, but every now and then be like, hey, bro, you know that. I don't think that'll work.
But he don't have one of us in there to do that.
I think he do, but sometimes you gotta think the people who finance you, they may pull a little hard. I ain't saying what to say or not, but that's for anybody in politics. Whoever finance you, you typically gonna say what?
Damn.
Ah, okay. Because that's your backing, unfortunately, but that's true, and we done seen that. There ain't nothing that's just
And then
speaking
he
on.
there for a reason. They got him there. They got him to do just what he do. They knew he was gonna cut up. He was tweeting and all that stuff before he got in office.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna. You're not gonna too tough stop doing what you do because of a title. It's very seldomly you stop being. But the thing is with that, you may stop for a little while, but the real you got to show up at some point in time. That's whatever you doing in life. Whether you a barber, but you a strip on, you know what I'm saying? Whether you home, whether you doing whatever you doing, the real you got to come to the surface. And a lot of people always ask me, why do I be so upfront? And I tell people what it is, because the real you got to show up. So why I won't just go and give you the real me now, and then that's your choice if you want to deal with me or not. Because I'm going to tell you, I am. All of these people I name, and I will get in your ass, all of them.
Don't they got a cartoon out called the Decepticons? Some shit like that. The Decepticons.
I heard it.
That's part of the transform.
Yeah, but think about it though.
That's what it is.
Now think about it just being grown.
Yeah.
And some of the shit that we witnessed as children. Decepticons, Pink in the Brain taking over the world. Who created this shit? It's like it's interesting now, you know what I'm saying? Like looking back at like who created this shit that we watching today that we watched 30 years ago.
Right.
It's a hell of a planner.
It is.
Yeah. And a lot of that stuff, man, it like I said, it came from through tight windows. It wasn't like it was like now you got so much stuff, so much, you know, you can go on YouTube, you can watch TV, you can watch cable, you can watch satellite, you can watch fucking, you know what I'm saying? So
I was watching cable on my cell phone when I got here.
Yeah, all kind of independent stuff, all kind of sports, but you talking about back then what we had. We knew what show was coming on. You know, you knew what time you wanted to be home for your show. 13, you know what I'm saying?
42.
You talking about, and I don't know if young people ever understand the way we seen that. You know, and I'm pretty sure our parents can tell us it was lesser than that. Like always talk about. He said you didn't even watch games live. Like the playoffs. He said they played the games and then you watched the delayed taping of it. You know what I'm saying? So you know, so it was more control. Mm-hmm. You talking about the stuff that we were being programmed with, and probably our parents and grandparents were programmed with through TV and radio, was controlled by a few. It wasn't as many people that had that influence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, you like that?
I agree.
So like I said, what was their agenda? That's a little conspiracy theory again, but what was the agenda of how they wanted us to think and move and
I just got a
see
text
shit?
message
You know what I'm saying?
saying they in Huntsville. It's going down in Huntsville. So they had to call in for state troopers and all kind of people to come out and help. Like they finna go destroy Bridge Street. They looking for 2 trucks with bricks and people on them.
Look it up.
That's something else.
Still moving around.
Still moving.
Well, you know, like we just said, the charges do need to come on up to first degree.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I think once they get
blatant.
their first degree, because they still gonna do what they do, and they doing it for a reason. But they trying to put the curfew out, and that's just to try to keep it or diffuse it some. But you can't stop these folks from not wanting what they want. They want justice. That's what they want, and they're not settling like they used to.
Status quo.
Yeah, because I mean, it's crazy that we so focused on what's going on right now. We done forgot all about the Ahmaud boy. We don't know what his killer got, but I bet you they gonna go back and resurface that case and make it do what it do. Because they know now, if we can do this for George, we're going to make sure Ahmaud got the same type of treatment. We're going to make sure Sandra Bland, folks, they're going to start reopening up these cases, and they're going to start doing some more research.
Yeah, we want to see them, you know, get that time accordingly.
No, they should, because
we want to see them get it.
Because everybody, you know, a lot of times, and I'm sure you done heard it too, when people go to talking about these conversations, the first thing they say, well, what about black on black crime? Well, I explain from this limited Woodlonian knowledge that I possess. This thing right here, I feel like this. yes, black on black crime is an issue. First of all, it ain't called black on black crime. It's called crime because you don't call Jew on Jew, Mexican on Mexican, none of that. Let's clear that up.
Called proximity.
Oh yeah, and second of all, the difference is that when Duke killed Ray Ray, or Ray killed Duke, you know one of them going to jail. You know, and you done witness him get them 40, 50, 100,000 years. We see that. But when you looking at a person who's responsible for pushing the law, enforcing the law, and you watch them shoot somebody in the back of the head, chase somebody down, shoot them unjustly, and we watch the same rigmarole go around. Mm-hmm. Don't want to charge, and then when you do charge them, you charge them with some, and they end up getting no time. And and like the city of Minneapolis, that ain't the first time that happened. Y'all forgot about Philando Castile. Then
Yes, sir.
you forgot about all the ones who didn't even make the news. Them people ain't bucking like that because it's the first time that happened. It's just that we're gonna keep the foot on the protest until we see real change, because it's just a replay of what's been going on. And I think that people now, they done got smarter, and then people done grew up watching people struggle with the same thing. And they like, bro, you not finna do me like that. Right. It may be a little misdirected, but they got the courage to say, bro, you better put your damn foot on. That's why you hear all that bucking in that shoe. And then on the other side, they'll think all this ain't a plan too. Because you gotta remember, the people who controlling this society ain't planning year to year. That shit 20 or 30 years in advance. Because I gotta be able to outthink the people too. Mm-hmm. So you gotta think about it. Curfews, Second Amendment right. What? First Amendment, the freedom of speech. Right to protest, right to assemble. Yeah. Curfew, right to assemble. Some people like, no, you can't make me stay in the house. Then you got some people gonna stay in the house. Then you got some people who gonna come out and gonna book that. But if you book that, if it's 10,000 people out there cutting up, our police force can't handle that, which means you call in the state police, which means you call in the military. Could that all be a ploy? Mm-hmm. That's the scariest thing out there, because you really don't know.
Like you had the folks running around, like you said, the people that they said that was these mayors and governors saying that we arresting people that's not even from our states. Mm-hmm. So these people come in and bust stuff up just so they can enact all this stuff on you, and now you can't move around. And they can lawfully enact these curfews and all this stuff, even though I'm sure if we really fought that,
those people are
it's
hired?
not lawful.
Yeah.
They can be hired, they can be trained, they can be already a part of organizations and groups. Mm-hmm. Benny was speaking on one earlier when we were talking. And it's just, you got to understand that it's not just us out there. People know what's going to happen when things like this go down. And it's people out here that plan and conspire to do things that we just don't think about on a daily, because we not them type of people. We work and take care of family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We not them type of people that diabolical sitting up thinking about how we gonna run the world. Most black people ain't like that. But and then another thing, those 3 officers need to be charged right along with this guy, because he's been charged before them. Okay, they came for them today. Mm-hmm. But you turn around and he's been charged before them, so that means if he was charged, it's some, what they call probable cause for guilt there. Mm-hmm. So y'all was still officers on duty watching this man kill this man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So all y'all supposed to stop that crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Use that word.
He committed a crime. I don't care. I watched him commit a crime. I don't need to see it play out in court.
No.
And I seen officers standing there and watch him commit one. Mm-hmm. So that's why they deserve it.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Kill that sympathy.
Each one of y'all can answer it if y'all want to. Me and Benny talked about it earlier. What makes this one so much different? Like you say, each one of the officers saw commit a crime. But we done seen this same scenario over and over again. Why are white people now taking a stand now more so than all the others?
Let me start it off. I'll start it off. This is what I think. I think now it was like the tip of the iceberg. It's like when it kept happening, it was still kind of standing, but it was moving a little bit. But this one went on and flipped the pot over. And now a lot of people being affected. I think that when you go to seeing all of the rioting, the fighting, the marching, the talking, the fussing, the crying, you can't help but to be involved. Then it was like, it wasn't like no shooting.
Yeah.
Where you saw, all you heard was pow, 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 you seen somebody fall. You actually watched somebody. And
Man,
even
strangled.
even if you don't like it and you want to support the dude Derek, you like, shit, Derek. 10 minutes, bro. It's point blank. Then it's different camera angles. I don't know if you know
Through
that.
the paramedics and all, you know.
It's almost like, and then I understand, I heard it was sheriffs, and then people looking at it like, too, like, hey, look, if Dreka watched me kill somebody and then call the police, guess who's going with me?
Right.
Dreka.
With me now.
And with me. Even if she ain't touch him, if she just said, I don't want to be involved.
Accessory to the crime.
And I think that people
She's not
just,
a bystander. She with you.
people just tired of seeing people not being held accountable, and that's white and black, you know. And I think that is that time in history, and is that time in the age of Aquarius that I've been speaking of, and it's that age of knowing, like, hey, bro, if you don't do something about it, the consequence is unrest. Nobody wants unrest, and I think that people want to stop it before it get too far, because as long as it keeps spreading, it's only gonna get bigger. Because what's gonna start happening? Police gonna start killing folks, other folks killing folks, regular citizens killing folks, and once that anarchy hit, nobody want to see no tank bend the corner on First Avenue. That's why I think people get involved.
People get every season runs out, and everybody has a breaking point. And it's not just in this situation. Like, you only have so much that you can deal with, and I feel like it only took whoever it took to stand up and the other people followed. I kudos to them, because they have not only made a stand in the United States. You got people all over the
It's
world.
all in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Germany, Paris, that
Everywhere,
are standing
yeah.
up. You get what I'm saying? So you have to understand that it's bigger than us. And it ain't just being mistreatment here, it's mistreatment all around the world.
From
And
the
people
same
are
source.
tired.
That's
And
right.
it's like the same black people that are standing up, you got some white people who are out there standing up too. Because they don't want to be prejudged for something that they're not doing. Because you, like, we was having that conversation on the home team the other morning, and I asked the question because a guy called in and he's married to a white lady. And I was asking him, and I just pretty much told him, you know, no pun, and I kept telling him, no pun intended, you know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, because I wasn't, but your wife would never understand what it is for you to walk out that door. You could be married to Trump, you could be married to anybody that's in higher power. Your wife will never understand what it is for you to walk outside that door as a black man. And if your kids are mixed kids, they will never understand why mama gets this and daddy gets this. Like, if they looking at TV, because everything is so broad and so open now, they're gonna be like, why and mommy's white and daddy's black, but they're together. Yeah, but they're together. You get what I'm saying? Like, she'll never understand what you protesting for. She'll never understand why you so hesitant. And I don't care how cool her folks are. You at the end of the day, like they said, that boy can't change into a girl all he want, but he's still a boy. At the end of the day, you still a black man. And you're gonna have to stand up for being a black man. I don't care what you're married to. That's just my point. And that's what I was telling him. And we're just to a point, like, I want to know how they sit at home and have these conversations. Because you fed up. You tired. And as a black man, are you having that conversation with your wife? Like, Julie, I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Talking about that morning.
You know, I understand you're my wife, but I get it. You don't know. She can cry, she can feel compassion all she wants. But she still don't understand when you walk out that door, you're no longer Julie's husband. You're a nigga. Period.
Quick.
Yeah, and some folks' eyes,
That's
you
deep.
shit to third power.
You ain't shit.
That's
And then now that you've married one of theirs, you definitely ain't shit. That's why you have a lot of people that's pro-black and would never go outside their race. You know, they want to uplift their queens, but at the same time they drag them for the same shit. Well, we have to be responsible for the things that we take on too. You know what I'm saying? So and you can't blame everything on everybody, because everybody ain't raised the same. Like, me and him come from two different backgrounds. Yeah, we both black, But my daddy may have been way more stricter than his folks. His folks may have been a little bit more lenient. Like, we don't know. So that's why I feel like just right now, I don't think it's just him in particular. I just think that they tired. You get what I'm saying? Like,
It's a collection of
shit. Like, we just saw you shoot this
You
man
get tired
with a
of hearing.
shotgun.
Yeah.
Now you gonna turn
See
around
it.
and put your knee on it? Like, damn, like, what else you gonna do? Like, this it.
And then, you know, it
Before you try to
feel
do
like it'll
anything
never
else.
end.
I don't think it'll be so bad if they were just held accountable. I don't even think it'll be as much of it if they were just held accountable. If they got the same treatment that black folk did, where they
Sure,
get
something
drugged in
different.
the mud and you knew that them officers got life,
Yeah, leave your family out here with nothing. You know?
Right.
half of it wouldn't even go down.
I agree.
Because you know it's a consequence for the action. It's just like a hard-headed child.
Yeah. So let's touch on this before we get up out of here. But cause you was talking about Trump and stuff, you know, and y'all know Trump just passed a bill, well, pushed out a bill. I don't know if it's passed over through the Senate and all that yet about social media. So I think we starting to get so powerful, even though there's a lot of pettiness go on social media. It's still powerful.
There's a lot of good in
What
it, too.
you know, the things that we can do with it, and they saying he trying to basically restrict some of the communication that we can have, that we having on these social platforms, and basically saying that the public's never been given this much power. You know what I'm saying? In this government's history, you know, without the government being able to get in there and basically regulate. You know what I'm saying? Even though we know ultimately something happen on social media and you can be tried and everything off of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
you know
that's
they
crazy.
banned,
I don't
they
think
banned
that's
them
him
off
doing
Twitter and Snapchat today.
That's why he
Y'all
probably
seen that?
said something, because he probably getting
Yeah,
put
Twitter
out.
and Snapchat.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they were like, boy, we ain't gonna support that
Yeah,
shit.
Twitter
But-
done put a lot of his tweets up.
But Facebook, they were like, they declined to do it. But Twitter and Snapchat were like, nah, we ain't gonna keep playing with you, man. Because anybody else was doing that, you can get,
They put that looting star, the shooting star
That's-
up. They took a
Oh,
few
yeah.
of them down.
That's why he probably pushed the bill, or somebody got in his ear and said something about it, because he can't do what he want to do on social media.
Yeah, so he mad.
Yeah, so he mad. He big mad. But he can get over it. Because you take my platform, I'm kick you.
I mean, but the thing is, though, it's like, to me, it's like everything is being unveiled.
Mhm.
And it's like we watching it before our eyes, but a lot of us ain't, as they say, woke enough to understand it. And it may just not be time for them to understand, and I understand that too. But when you really look at it, it's like, man, this dude's showing you.
Yeah, man.
And honestly,
He been showing
now
you.
peep this. Like I said, on another perspective, Trump is one of the best things happening in this country, because he's showing you a reflection of how they really feel. Because he lost by 3 million votes. He won by the electoral. Let's clear that up. It's 538 electoral votes, to be exact. Now, it's still, he had 62 million people cast a vote for them, and they got cheered. If each 62 million got one child apiece, we're at 124 million. That's still a lot
You
of
just
people.
want to show people you
Well,
can
you know,
count.
I can add a little bit. But you know,
How long it took you to figure that out?
about a week and a half.
I
Yeah.
bet.
But with him, you got to think, if all those people still represented, it's
Yeah.
still a large population that never really said much. They might have saw him in some rallies with some hoods on, but now them folks showing you, bro. No,
Back into the city.
they showing you. And I think it was great for us to see it. That's why I keep saying he's the greatest thing. He did make America great by exposing who they really are. And the ones who don't see it, they're going to get lost in the sauce. The ones who do see it, I think it's going to be easier to take charge of our destiny, because we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Even though we had to take an ass whooping to get it. But sometimes ass whoopings is what is corrective behavior.
Well,
Some ag right.
Yep.
you need one.
Nah, shit.
What y'all think about Carlo?
Child, I'm finna go. What
Wow.
So
Now,
Oh,
That's
man.
what it's sell.
I'm about to go.
Yeah. So,
that's a
but,
guilt on your part. I mean,
No,
don't
Carlos-
so
railroad
what
the
you think about
man.
Carlo before you leave? Before we
Don't
leave,
railroad
we
the
gotta
man now.
But
Carlos is Carlos. Carlos is outspoken. You can't acknowledge Trump on one end and then bash Carlos because they one and the same. You know what I'm saying? One just white, one just black. They act just alike. They both get on social media and say all this crazy stuff, cause all this hoopla, and then they go hide.
home.
You see what I'm saying? So I feel like Carlos is Carlos, man. Like, I actually got a chance to hang out with Carlos on Christmas last year. And outside of all of that shit, he cool. Real cool, down to earth dude. But I think he is appointed to do what he do. But they coming for him. Or
So-
they coming, the city coming for Carlos.
From what we read, because I read an article, and if you check it out, I'll post it again. They were saying that basically he's inciting riots. Now, and made threats against the mayor. Now, I read the text messages and the screenshots of the conversation. I don't think he threatened that man.
I think he just voiced his
He
opinion.
voiced
didn't
his
see it.
opinion, and I think, I'm gonna share it
I
with you,
didn't see
man.
it.
It's like, I think honestly they doing that because even if they know they can't really get him, if I can just take you through court and run you through that system, that's another break.
Yeah,
The
they
average
just want to
person,
break
you
it
know,
down.
That's why I
and
said
scan.
we got to rethink for we railroad him
Yeah, I don't
on
think it was.
some of this stuff because I mean they trying to label this guy a terrorist, and you know what that enabled them to do against him.
They
Once
kill him on sight.
we can't. Know what I'm saying?
Breathe hard is
You know
on.
what I'm saying? I want to see the messages before I just make a bold statement and just
so
say
get back to
guilty
the
or
farm
not
business.
guilty up here. But you know, terroristic, that's a stretch,
He's
man.
not
You
a
ain't trying to get that to the damn man that just started all this
Right.
shit.
Shit,
Yeah.
they ain't giving the damn the Klan.
Exactly.
The Klan and all that.
We just got through talking about that, right?
Christian group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
He's not a terrorist. He's outspoken. He's boisterous. He believes in something. When he believes in it, he stands firm on it. Whether he throw rocks and hide his hands or not, he puts it out there.
Right,
And
he
like,
ain't
he done went as far as to start a page that say he the damn mayor of Birmingham.
I think he do that too because what people don't realize, even if he ain't shit, his voice to reach people is probably more dangerous than anything he can say because they know people listening.
Yeah.
You doing a live and you get 25, 3,500 people and 2,000 people that just paying attention. Nigga, that's more than some of these news stations. So I think it's more so the reach he got than anything because if I can run you through that court system and say, I tell you what, we'll let you go. But if I hear anything else about that, we gonna bag you over that time. Or we'll put some on your ass. And they'll do it now.
Yeah.
We done seen it throughout history.
I just like to see us told him rather than, you know what I'm saying, throw him away. You feel me?
Oh, I ain't throwing him away.
I mean, we just got through saying, not saying that you are, but we just got through saying about we in the age where we need people that's gonna put it out there. Damn all that humble and
Political
put it up
correct
under
shit.
the rug and don't tell hush shit. You know,
Right.
so. Manage maybe I don't know because I can't say I mean I see a couple of lives. I'm not his friend on social media, so I don't see everything he doing them. But I see a live or two here and there. I never seen anything he did terroristic either. When I seen that
that's
petition,
strong
I was
too.
like, God, man, no. But you know, everybody have an opinion, and like I said, I got to see those messages and stuff just for you know for my conversational. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Intellect.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, shit, hey, we done had a good, nice conversation with Dreka, the Eyelash Diva. But unfortunately, she has to be in the bed by 10.
Sure
And
do.
you're right.
And I got to
What
deal
time
with
that
Benny
curfew
in the
about?
morning.
But be honest with you, I had supposed to be in the house by 7. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I got to deal with him in a couple of hours.
Yeah, a few of them. But you know, this Barbershop Stories, the podcast, episode 40 with Dreka, the Eyelash
this
Diva.
way.
Make sure you follow her
Oh.
on Dreka, the Eyelash
This
Diva
way.
and Petty Church. And just
Right,
check
this
out Aaron Tuesdays, right?
Is it this way?
Well,
Or this way?
hey, no gang signs inside the barbershop. We're not with the foolishness.
Alabama shit.
But yeah, so and then of course make sure you check out Petty
Yes,
Church
on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
At
What
8.
time? Tuesdays 8. All right, so also tune in Home Team Morning Show each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, from 6 to 10, where you can hear some of these shenanigans. Great morning show, B949. Make sure you tune in, and also be on the lookout for Mo Forehead in the Face 1, 2, and 3. They will be on everything you can watch on TV. And I also got hard copies too. Just come down and check me out at the barbershop. And we are still barbers here too. I do slang haircuts. Me, my constituent here, Sammy No Nose, and we're open 7 days a
Open
week.
every day.
Schedule your appointment.
Through
We're going to
Saturday.
try to social distance and do half-ass mine, 205-591-2887 or 591-CUTS. Come check us out and check out the website.
And watch Ben to catch these
BennyMaxOnFirst.com.
hands.
Yeah, and then watch me sit there and pray for it. Like, I ain't being easy at all. Don't pray charge on me. But yeah, make sure you check us out every Wednesday, 8 p.m. And shout out to everybody who tunes in, and shout out to people who making moves. Even if you don't know where you going, you was bold enough to make that move. Hey, I'm comedic narrator, haircut slanger Benny Mac, and we out. Sam, you got anything you want to tell them?
Hey man, y'all just stay up out there, stay together, you know what I'm saying? And you know, support each other, man.
Anything?
Hi, I'm Dreka,
All right,
the
she's
Eyelash
Dreka.
Diva.
That's right, and we are out. Shout out to K12 for keeping us.
So 40.